All right, fam. Y'all know what time it is. Uh, Lying down Wednesday time, baby. All right, y'all know what we do. Again, we do what? We hit that share button, don't we? Listen, y'all come on in and let's get ready to do it. I'm going to hit that share button myself if y'all don't mind. How was you guys' day today? How was your day today? Was your day on point today? You all know what I do on Wednesdays. I have that meditation time. I'm aligning myself with the monks that are headed to Columbia, South Carolina, incidentally. I'm excited about that. I think they should be here either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I'll figure it out pretty soon. They do inform you where they're going to be. So, but I think we're going to have an amazing night tonight, you all. It is so much going on out there. Tonight's topic, if you haven't been able to see it yet, we're going to be dealing with, are you prepared to give an account for what you say? Isn't that something? Are you ready? Are you prepared to give an account for whatever you may say out of your mouth? What's up, man? We'll talk about it tonight. Y'all know how we do it. We do it like Roger do it. You feel me? Yes, indeed. We up in here. You finna make it do what it do, baby. That's the only thing we know to make it do what it do. Isn't that right? But again, yeah, I had an amazing day, and I'm just taking an opportunity to hit the share button with you guys. And gratitude Gratitude because you guys are awesome. You all make this thing go off without a hitch. You all are amazing. Let me say that. We got the ATL baby already showing up, showing out. We got South Kakalaki in the house. But let me hit this share button real quick here, fam. Let's see what's going on. If we can get somebody up in here, and we can have a conversation, a grown folk conversation. How many of y'all ready for a grown folk conversation? I see the big fellas in the house. 217, baby. ATL also. You understand me? Back at you, big fella. Peace and blessings. Yes, indeed. So listen, y'all go ahead and let's do it together. Hit that share button, and then we'll get into this conversation. I introduce you to the wine that I have for tonight. I have a different wine for you all. I'll show it to you. I'm pretty sure if you sip on wine, you've maybe had this kind of wine before. However, it is not all just about wine, but you can have your water, your tea, your coffee, right? You can have it any kind of way you want it, right? It's all about the camaraderie. 1 second here, fam, and we're gonna go ahead and get this party started. Okay. All right. Just almost there. Almost there. Okay, I think that'll do it right there. Let me go ahead and send this out. I think that will do it. Now let me pull up YouTube because we're streaming live to YouTube as well, fam. Everybody good? Y'all good? Okay. Just a second. There we go. Now we're live over there. Okay, we're live on YouTube. Okay, fam. Listen, let me go ahead on and pull up this wine and introduce you guys to this wine for tonight. Right? Okay. All right. Check this out. Have you all have ever had box wine? Wine in a box? This is called a black box, and it's wine in a box. And check this out, fam. This is a Chardonnay, and it's off the chain. It's 13.5. Oh my. It's 13.5, and it's got a kick to it. Chardonnay always has a nice little kick to it anyway, and it's a nice flavor, nice buttery type of flavor that goes well with different kinds of dishes, lamb, chicken, um, pizza, incidentally. So listen, let me pour this up, and then we're going to go ahead and get into this conversation. I see you, 217. Ronald Jackson is in the house. What's up, King? Um, for you, for me, and for us, go ahead and hit that share button so that we can go ahead on and get into this, move on into this. Okay? Remember where you at. You on the People's Podcast, baby. It's about you, me, and us, right? We also coined it what? FUBU. For us, by us. Okay? So with that, I'm going to pour this up, and we're going to get into this conversation. I got something I want to show you guys, and then we're going to communicate about it, okay? All right? I got a couple of short vids we're going to take a look at, Okay. Pouring up that bale. Y'all know I gotta pour up that bale. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotta pour these are shouts out. Y'all can see the shouts out while we're toasting. We're shouting everybody out. Listen, if we left anybody out, listen, pour it to our head and not our heart. Yep. Yes, indeed. All right. So listen, I'll start the toast out tonight. I'll give my famous toast, if that's all right with you all. I'll give my famous toast. May you live forever, and shall I never die. Salute. Mm. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. All right, somebody, anybody, go ahead and put the topic on the timeline. Tonight's topic: are you prepared to give an account for what you say? And I talked about this some time ago. I'm maybe a few years ago, almost about 5 years ago, I think. Queen Octavia, I think. I'm my memory is failing me here, but I think it was almost about 5 years ago. I don't know how many of you remember Jeff Sessions, and he was in Donald Trump's uh, first office, right? And he talked about something. He talked about extremist domestic terrorism, and we're using terrorism only for educational purposes only, entertainment purposes only. The T word, terrorism. Okay, so it is definitely not to incite anyone to do anything crazy. But listen, I want to get into this because it's imperative and it's very important that we know what time it is. It was about that time frame, Queen Octavia. Okay, gratitude, gratitude. So listen, so now let this guy explain this to you all. Please just give ear and recall that information brings about transformation, right? Information is what we need. I want you all to check this out and then we're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about it. And I have another one that goes along with this one as well. It's not that long.
Because some platforms are going to try to take it down or bury it. This is NSPM 7, Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence, and it just got signed. And buried inside of it are a series of traps. It says the government can treat anti-American, anti-capitalist, and anti-Christian views as indicators of political violence.
Wait a minute, did y'all hear what he said? Let me run that back for you. I really need you all to catch this. Please listen. Listen.
PM7, Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence, and it just got signed. And buried inside of it are a series of traps. It says the government can treat anti-American, anti-capitalist, and anti-Christian views as indicators of political violence. This allows them to target people they will label as potentially politically violent. The goal of NSPM7 is to give the government the authority to arrest and charge people before they actually do anything illegal. This is about ideology. And pay attention, because NSPM 7 broadly gives them the authority to label and arrest anyone who supports the overthrow of the US government, supports extremism on migration, supports extremism on race or gender, and it also includes going after people who have hostility towards those who hold traditional American values on family, hostility for those who hold traditional American views on religion, and hostility for those who hold traditional American views on morality. And they slipped in civil disorder, which can mean almost anything. All those statements are very broad and ambiguous, and that's by design. When dissent is defined as anti-American, any protest can be labeled anti-American. Question capitalism, you're an anti-capitalist. Criticize Christian nationalism or religion in schools, you're anti-Christian. It's not an accident. Broad language is a weapon. Suppose ICE kicks in some doors in a city and there's a protest. And if you join, even peacefully, they could call that anti-American or civil disorder. You call out a corporation for exploitative practices. They could call that anti-capitalist. Criticize Christian political ideology, you're anti-Christian. This gives them cover to stretch definitions however they want. The worst part, you won't see it instantly. And that's how authoritarian change happens. One day you'll wake up and say,
Notice what he said. He said, you're not going to see it instantly. They've been slowly instituting this. Let me run this back a little bit so y'all can hear, right? So that we can have a well-informed discussion. Okay, Brand?
supports extremism on migration, supports extremism on race or gender, and it also includes going after people who have hostility towards those who hold traditional American values on family, hostility for those who hold traditional American views on religion, and hostility for those who hold traditional American views on morality. And they slipped in civil disorder, which can mean almost anything. All those statements are very broad and ambiguous, and that's by design. When dissent is defined as anti-American, any protest can be labeled anti-American. Question capitalism, you're an anti-capitalist. Criticize Christian nationalism or religion in schools, you're anti-Christian. It's not an accident. Broad language is a weapon. Suppose ICE kicks in some doors in a city and there's a protest. And if you join, even peacefully, they could call that anti-American or civil disorder. You call out a corporation for exploitative practices. They could call that anti-capitalist. Criticize Christian political ideology, you're anti-Christian. This gives them cover to stretch definitions however they want. The worst part, you won't see it instantly. And that's how authoritarian change happens. One day you'll wake up and say, why can't I say this? Or since when is that illegal? This is the playbook. Once they have the cover to treat thought and ideology as threat, they escalate. Surveillance of dissidents and organizers, prosecutions under broad terrorism labels, deploying federal forces inside cities, media and speech control, purging or silencing dissent. I'm not asking you to panic. I'm asking you to fucking pay attention. Don't just shrug and scroll. Share this. Demand your media talk about it. Don't normalize repression, because in a year or 2 or 5, you're going to wake up and look around and think, I should have paid attention. And by then, it's too late. We have to continue to resist. I need you to pay attention to what.
So listen to what he's saying. This is a new law. They've already passed this. And it's already happening, right? Let me show you all something that it's already happening, and we're going to get into this conversation.
Was arrested without really any explanation in Grand Rapids, Michigan today. I want to show you this video from WZM Local. Everyone needs to see it because this is very concerning in the United States of America. I never thought I'd see this in the United States.
This is not just a foreign issue. It's our tax dollars that are also being used to commit these war crimes. It is also the duty of us, the people, to stand against the Trump regime, the Trump administration, that are committing crimes both here in the U.S. and against people in Venezuela.
Now, in the background of this interview, you could see that police car. And now right here, we're showing you video we have immediately after. You can see it in the video, and an officer tells Plickta that she is being arrested for obstructing a roadway and failure to obey a lawful command from a police officer. You can see as she's taken away in that.
Literally zero explanation given. She was protesting. Doesn't matter what her stance is and beliefs. First Amendment right to protest in the United States of America. She was detained by officers and whisked away. People need to see this. Spread the word. Follow.
Yeah, see what's happening? What's going on? This is why the topic tonight again is, are you prepared to give an account for what you say? Because you're gonna have to know how to phrase what it is that you're saying, in that you may be a dissenter. You may be dissenting, right? You may be going against the status quo. You may be going against the president of the United States of America. You may be going against some group, right? Some corporate group. And they can label you and then arrest you. If you notice, what they did was the young lady was giving a speech, and after she finished it, they arrested her, right? This is what they are doing. They are doing it. They're not talking about it. They are doing it. They are now doing it. Right? Okay. Queen Octavia says, so if it contradicts freedom of speech, how was this passed? Again, the law is NSP M7, National Security Presidential Memorandum. And what they're saying is that it is violating certain laws that they're instituting. For example, they call this countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. What they're doing is, Queen Octavia, they're labeling what you're doing as being violent, that it's going against the norm. It's going against what they want to happen. Are you listening? So it's very important. Since it's already a law, what can we do about it? The only thing that we can do about it is write to our congressmen, right? And tell them to rescind it because we didn't approve of that. We didn't approve that. So you're looking at a takeover. You're looking at and here's what needs to be understood. For educational purposes and entertainment purposes only, America is ascending to a place we call an empire, right? They're not just being a world leader. They are ascending to a place where they are becoming an empire because they are not abiding by any of the international laws, allegedly. Okay. They're not abiding by any of those laws. Okay. They've snubbed their nose uh, at the UN. So then here's a note that I wrote. Okay. The law is only as good or effective based upon who is enforcing it. Did you hear me? The law is only as good or effective based upon who is enforcing it. So 217, Lisa, I hear you. So if you have a shyster, a thug, a bully, for educational purposes only, what type of behavior are they going to have? Aren't that or isn't that behavior going to come out in how they think and how they behave and then ultimately become policy, right? Policy becomes a bill becomes a law based upon what? Someone's behavior, their personality. And so they're going to be what? Establishing laws based upon what? Their personalities. Oh, come on and talk to me. It's Wind Down Wednesday, baby therapy with a sip. Grown folk conversation. If you just come in the room, we're talking about, are you prepared to give an account for what you say? Right? Okay. And we shared some information with each other. We listened to a couple of vids to communicate about. Okay. So you take a minute and think about it. Right? Okay. Sergeant at Arms Kiana says, yes, they make their dysfunction laws. Yes, their laws are dysfunctional, right? And it's to serve the purpose of meeting whatever their agenda is. They're trying to establish some kind of agenda, right? And what is that agenda? To what? Rule the world. They are looking to take over everything. You have to think about this. Just take a minute and think about this. So they've gone into Venezuela. They have their eyes set on Cuba, Colombia, Iran, Syria. They've already also bombed Nigeria. You have to take you have to look at this. So, in other words, America is setting a precedence. They are saying that if we don't like your behavior and you don't meet the qualifications of how we think you should behave toward us, we are going to remove you from office. So what Trump and the American military did, allegedly, went in and took a sitting president out of a sovereign country, right? And placed drugs upon him. Now, charges upon him in terms of drugs. So they dropped talking about drugs. They're simply talking about now they gave him a gun charge, y'all. They gave him a gun charge. I see you. He in the house, y'all. It's the one, Mr. Intuitive One, Craig Leverett, y'all. All right. Thank you for putting that out there, JP. Yes. I see you, DW. 217 in the house, baby. Much love, girl. Yeah. So are y'all paying attention to this? Are y'all up on what's really going on? Now, so again, that law, that security law, if you all want to hear it one more time, if you all want me to play that vid one more time so that we all get on the same page, put a 1 on the timeline. If you want that to be, if you want to hear it again. Because I know sometimes we need to hear things over and over and over again, really to catch that. DWC put her one out there real quick. Anyone else? Y'all moving a little slow tonight. What's going on out there? Y'all good? Yeah. Okay. Y'all good over there on YouTube? All right. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's see what Keith said. Keith says, yes, Baba. And while this was happening, JP Morgan got control over silver bars by the trillions. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. They have to get the silver, right? Because that's how they make bombs. They need silver to make bombs. And then if you'll notice, remember, allegedly, America has given given an astronomical amount of the weapons that they have to who? Israel, who they erroneously call Israel. There's no such name as Israel. The name has always been Israel. Okay. All right. Our European counterparts, for educational purposes only, always abuse names. They always misuse names, right? They call Negro, they call for Negro, they call Negro. It ain't never been Negro. It has always been Negro because Negro means what? Black, right? Negro. It ain't been Negro. Our European counterparts has a problem with people's names. Haven't you all ever noticed that? Hey, Alphine. Greetings, Queen. All right. So listen, let me get back to this while I'm rambling. Let me put this vid back out here for you guys. Now, I need you to really listen because this is already going down. It's already happening. Okay.
Going to say, and I want you to save or share this.
Okay. All right. It'll be coming up in just a second. Give it just a second to come up.
save or share this because some platforms are going to try to take it down or bury it. This is NSPM 7, Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence, and it just got signed. And buried inside of it are a series of traps. It says the government can treat anti-American, anti-capitalist, and anti-Christian views as indicators of political violence. This allows them to target people they will label as potentially politically violent. The goal of NSPM 7 is to give the government the authority to arrest and charge people before they actually do anything illegal. This is about ideology. And pay attention, because NSPM 7 broadly gives them the authority to label and arrest anyone who supports the overthrow of the US government, supports extremism on migration, supports extremism on race or gender, and it also includes going after people who have hostility towards those who hold traditional American values on family, hostility for those who hold traditional American views on religion, and hostility for those who hold traditional American views on morality. And they slipped in civil disorder, which can mean almost anything. All those statements are very broad and ambiguous, and that's by design. When dissent is defined as anti-American, any protest can be labeled anti-American. Question capitalism, you're an anti-capitalist. Criticize Christian nationalism or religion in schools, you're anti-Christian. It's not an accident. Broad language is a weapon. Suppose ICE kicks in some doors in a city and there's a protest. And if you join, even peacefully, they could call that anti-American or civil disorder. You call out a corporation for exploitative practices. They could call that anti-capitalist. Criticize Christian political ideology, you're anti-Christian. This gives them cover to stretch definitions however they want. The worst part, you won't see it instantly. And that's how authoritarian change happens. One day you'll wake up and say, why can't I say this? Or since when is that illegal? This is the playbook. Once they have the cover to treat thought and ideology as threat, they escalate. Surveillance of dissidents and organizers, prosecutions under broad terrorism labels, deploying federal forces inside cities, media and speech control, purging or silencing dissent. I'm not asking you to panic. I'm asking you to fucking pay attention. Don't just shrug and scroll. Share this. Demand your media talk about it. Don't normalize repression, because in a year or 2 or 5, you're going to wake up and look around and think, I should have paid attention. And by then, it's too late. We have to continue to resist. I need you to pay attention.
You hear what he said? It's happening, y'all. It's happening. Isn't that something? Yeah. Yeah. Now, to your point, Queen Octavia, why we have you up there. So Christianity is the only religion, but you have to look at this. Why did he bomb allegedly? The reason he gave why he bombed Nigeria was why, fam. If you all know why he said he bombed Nigeria, put a 2 on the timeline so we all get on the same page. If you know why, right? Okay. And if we take a minute and think about it, we know who kind of spurred that on as well. A rapper. She's a rapper. How many of you all know who I'm talking about? She's a rapper that spurred that on for him to go over there and bomb Nigeria. Okay. Now, why did he do that? It was under the auspices of that they were what? Killing who? Christians. So in other words, then, what you're saying is that if in any country someone is murdering Christians, then you're going to go in and start a war with them, or you're going to go in and bomb them, or you're going to go in and kill them. What? Isn't that something? Oh, y'all come on, talk to me. This is very important. We need these things. This is why we need grown folk conversation. We need to be able to hear something that strengthens us, that encourages us, that enlightens us, right? And put us ahead of the curve. Because you're going to need to know what to say, when to say it, and why you're saying it. Okay? And you're going to have to be responsible for that. Whatever you saying out of your mouth, you're going to need to be responsible for that. What? See, it's people talk all day long until they are challenged. See, most of the people out here right now that are content creators, they're saying all kind of things. But see, things get real when the federal government knocks at your door, when the FBI knocks at your door. I don't know how many of you all have ever had the FBI knock at your door and ask to come in and speak with you. That's a whole nother level of conversation because you're being vetted. I know what that is. I know what that feels like. It has happened to me. I've had my phone tapped. I would get off the phone, and in the background, you can hear them talking. You can hear them. They wasn't trying to make no secret about it. They will surveillance you. They will surveil you. Right? So you want to be cognizant of what it is that you're singing so that you can phrase it and say it the way that it needs to be said. Are you listening? Right? There's a way to say everything. Right? As the old folks say, there's a right way to do wrong. You just have to know how to do it. Are you listening? And I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying. But why are we are talking and discussing this? Because it's important. You're going to see those that are real content creators, those that really say what they mean and mean what they say and are willing to accept the consequences. Not only that, but they are going to be smart enough to know how to phrase things so that you just can't just outright do what you want to do to me, right? You just can't charge me. You just can't lock me down because of what I said. So it's very important. So freedom of speech is gone, right? People are saying, "Oh, I can say what I want to say." Okay, go ahead and say it, but you better be responsible for it. You feel me? So Queen Octavia says, "Who's next?" Not everyone, nor every country is Christian based. Correct. Why do you think they're at Iran? They're at Gaza. They're at Palestine. Okay, for educational purposes only. They're at Palestine. Those are not Christians. But however, before 1948, the League of Nations gave authority to David Ben Gurion to go over and start a whole nation. Before they did that, it was Christians there, it was Muslims there, it was Hebrews there, it was Africans there. Are you hearing me? Right? Okay. I'm gonna let you all talk. I'm talking, but y'all blowing that timeline up. Sergeant at Arms Kiana says, yes, that's why these teachings are important so you can speak and comprehend on a smarter level. Absolutely. And learn how to move in silence. Sergeant at Arms know what she talking about. She the Sergeant at Arms. The Prince of Peace says, knowing the language helps us to hear what's really being said and to say what needs to be said. That's right. Correct. Let's see what DW217 says. You remember them doing it, Dwayne Rudis, and still do it. It and Harris, his kids, because how he speaks and call the folks crackers and everything else. Laugh out loud. And he still is the only black radio station in 217. He knows the laws and he cold with it. Yes, indeed. I sure do remember DR. Yes, indeed. Back in the day. Yes. Yes, indeed. Nick Nack, Patty Rack. What's going on, girl? Nick Nack Truth. It's about respect. And when it comes to us, they just looking for reasons to not ask questions and persecute, and penalize. I agree. Great point. Yes. DW, what's up? What you say, DW, bro? You know, Dwayne Reedus. Yeah, he's cold with it. Yeah, I told you. DR. Yeah, I know you talking about. He used to before they tore down the John's Hay home. He used to work out of the John Hay homes, but AKA projects. I know who you talking about. That's in the inside talk between me and my homegirl, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Everybody good? Y'all good up in here? Let's take a toast and keep it moving. I'm not going to hold you home long. Excuse me. We just want to get to this conversation. I want you all to have this information so you all will know, and it won't sneak up on you when they tell you, "Hey, well, you can no longer express yourself in such a manner." And if you do, what we're going to do is we're going to charge you with a criminal charge, and we're going to lock you down. Right? This is happening. It's going on, fam. Again, what were we talking about earlier? We're talking about America becoming what now? An empire. She no longer wants to be a world leader because she has to respect other world leaders. But when you become an empire, what do? You swallow up all of the other worlds or states or countries, right? You swallow them up and you begin to rule over them. This is what America wants. So what is she after? She's after all of the resources. Because if you hold in your possession the resources, then you determine the flow of things, right? Excuse me. You determine the flow of things. So what is America trying to stop? They're trying to stop everyone from abandoning the dollar. Oil is purchased with what? Fiat, right? It's purchased with what? Dollars. Are you listening? So what America is trying to do is revitalize, resuscitate the dollar because the dollar has lost 99% of its value. So it is really untradeable. So what are they doing? So who has the largest oil reserve? You're right, Venezuela's, right? So if you seize that oil, now everybody has to come to you for that reserve. So now what does that do to the dollar? It takes it what? Right back up. Oh, y'all gonna talk tonight? It's Wind Down Wednesday, baby. Therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation. I am your host with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the gospel commander. We are on the what? People's Podcast. Salute, salute, salute. Mm. Hey, Empress. The Empress is in the room. The upper room. It's Wind Down Wednesday, baby. This grown folk conversation. Listen, as I always say, what? If you ain't grown, do what? Get your ass out the room. Yeah. Get your out this room. Everybody is everybody all right. Y'all all right out there. Listen, it ain't nothing Wrong with having a little fun, baby. It's Wind Down Wednesday. If you're sipping, listen, sip responsibly, right? If you're driving, make sure you've drunk responsibly, okay? And you're not driving intoxicated or inebriated. Yes, indeed. Yeah, they're mad about that dollar. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Isn't that something, family? And listen, but the thing about it is they they have cast a spell on over 80% of the people. They've cast a spell on them, man. They could tell them anything and they go for it. They like a gopher. They go for it. Are you listening to me? Isn't that something? But we need to know this. We need to be talking about this. We need to be talking about all of your rights are being snatched away. Listen, they have no respect for the Constitution. Are you listening to me? They have no respect for the Constitution. They just say the hell with that. We getting ready to move. We've getting ready to move on it and move on the people. They're taking away all the rights of the people. You take a minute and think about ICE and what ICE is doing. ICE don't care who they do and what they do and who they do it to. They don't care. Haven't y'all been seeing it? Kicking in people's doors, shooting people. They shot a woman today in the face and unalived her. Check it out. Y'all need to. Yeah, New World Order. Yeah. But that New World Order, Sergeant at Arms, what is going to be based off of what? Imperialism. Empire making. What? See, but what you have to understand as a result of this being revealed, lets you know that America is about to be allegedly toppled. Every great empire has what? Risen and what? Fallen. So what is America doing? She's spreading herself what? Thin. She's in so many countries. So she's spreading herself thin. Listen, America has spreaded herself so thin that if we have an attack on our soil, it'll take at least 2 weeks for them to get back here to be able to provide some type of safety, protection. Are you listening? Yeah. Intuitive One says, and it doesn't matter which party they align with, it's always the same agenda. Yes, it is. It is always the same agenda. But Dr. Bobby Wright told us something. He told us something before he transitioned, and peace be upon him. He said the way that you know someone is a psychopath is that one, they will lack the ability to get along with anybody. Okay. He said that they would be callous, unempathetic, right? And would be self-centered. It would be about them. And we know what that is. That's narcissism. We know what that is. We see it. It has revealed itself. Right? This is what's happening. It's an old saying. Same thing make you laugh, same thing what? Make you cry. You know, you have your for educational purposes only, you have your white supremacy. And they are exhibiting that. You have to understand that white supremacy has been allowed to prop itself up for so long. They've gotten the notion that now they're going to rule the world. They're going to create what? An empire. You got to look at the makings of it. If you don't believe me, just take a moment, research, and look it up, and you know what's going on. And so, because of that antiquated thinking, it's going to cost America, right? Because you don't have the same mindset in other countries, right? Because other countries has advanced themselves. But what America has positioned herself to do is be a warmonger. Y'all feel me? Yeah, be a warmonger. Let me get to some of your thoughts. Yes, yes they did, Nick Nack. They shot and unalived an innocent woman for cussing them out and driving away. Can y'all imagine that? Queen Octavia says, "Do you think you can go and snatch somebody from their home and don't think his fam is not going to get some get back?" I agree. Y'all, it's finna go down, y'all. And then also, I don't know how many of you all know. I don't know if you got the news yet, but listen, Russia had a tanker out there in international water, and they was escorting it with a submarine and a military boat ship. America, y'all, went and hijacked it. This is some real gangster stuff. America is a gangster, but we know what happens to all gangsters, don't we? They always meet they what? They demise. I'm just getting your yeah, I'm just going back over them, getting everybody thoughts out there. Make sure I don't miss anything because I have a tendency to just run past everything. Yeah, he is about to start some shit and take off and hide. Absolutely. Absolutely, Queen Octavia. That's about is what's going to happen. Um, Sergeant at Arms, Kiana, they playing chess. Yeah. Knick-knack, truth, and whoremongers for oil. Yes, indeed. We see what's going on. We looking at it. Those of us that are conscious and have decided to look beyond the veil. See, they can't pull the wool over our eyes because we are not looking with duality. We are using, I'm talking about this in my book, it's called penetrating vision. Not quite sure if you all understand what that is or understand what penetrating vision is. If you know what penetrating vision is, for me, for you, and for us, put a 3 on the timeline. If you know what penetrating vision is. If not, I will break it down for you all and explain it to you all because I'm talking about it in my book called When You Get Struck. Okay. All right. Go ahead and put that 3 out there if you know what that means. Okay. So that we can get on the same page. Okay. Anybody else? Queen Octavia says she do. While I'm waiting on you all to put that 3 on the timeline, let's take another. Someone want to give a toast? Can I get a toast out of anybody real quick? Somebody put a toast out there. See how much time we have. Oh, yeah, we got about 2, 3 more minutes. Y'all know I try to keep you around about 60 minutes. 60 minutes. All right. All right. Alfine said, please break it down. I promise I'm going to break it down for you, Queen, in just a second. Someone give a toast. Yes, indeed. And if you haven't had an opportunity yet to put on the timeline what you're sipping, please put it out there. Let us all have an amazing time together. It's time that we get to share together. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in on YouTube. And if you hadn't had an opportunity to, please subscribe and like. And if you haven't had an opportunity to follow me on Facebook, please. Wind Down Wednesday Therapy with a Sip Grown Folk Conversation. If you put that in the search engine, it'll bring you straight to us on the People's Podcast. Okay. People's Podcast, baby. All right. So I see those threes coming out. Okay. Right. So did anyone who gave the toast? Let me see. Let me see what that toast is. Okay. All right. Still waiting on that toast. Still waiting on that toast. Who gonna get that toast? Let's say who gonna get that toast? Say what? Who gonna get that toast? Okay, let me see him. Let me see him. Okay. 1 second here. Okay. All right. There it is right there. The priestess, Lavelle. Love, peace, and happiness. Ooh, I'm gonna take this one back, y'all, because we're almost about to get out of here. I'm gonna break that down for you all, penetrating vision, and we're gonna get up out of here. Salute, salute, salute. Mm. Yo, that Chardonnay is off the chain. Ooh-wee. I mean, off the his chain. Yeah, I'm gonna pour up one more, but I won't get the chance to finish it with you guys. But I'm gonna pour up one more because this Wind Down Wednesday, baby, with this Chardonnay, baby. Look at that. That bell. Y'all see that bell? That's all they give us when we go to a restaurant anyway, and then charge us what, $14.99. What's up, 217? What's going on, bro? Glad to see you made it in. Yeah, that's all right. You made it though. That's what counts, right? Okay. All right. Kiana getting the toast. Toast to those who look beyond the veil, baby. Well, we're gonna go and do another toast, y'all. The Sergeant at Arms says, toast to those who look beyond the veil. Salute, salute, salute. Mm. Yeah, that's my homie, 217, baby. They 217 represent tonight. Y'all up in here tonight. ATL up in here. South Kakalaki up in here. Yes, indeed. That's Illinois. Isn't that something? Yes, indeed. That's Brazier. Yeah, that's Brazier. Yeah, in the house. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and break that down for you all, right? Penetrating vision. There's at least two visions that we deal with, and this dealing with those of us that are conscious and spiritual, right? Okay. Okay. Y'all with me? Okay, so we're gonna break this down. Let me break it down. Just getting you all out there. That's all. Okay. All right. So now there are at least two visions that we deal with, but let me say three. Okay. Three. First one, no, four. I'll break them down. Okay. So the first one we deal with is what we call our single eye. Most people erroneously call it the third eye. The third eye is the actual first eye because it is the eye that has been developed during the first stages of gestation, right? It is called your what? Your pineal gland. Some call it pineal gland, but it's shaped like a pine cone, which is where it gets its name from. It is a pineal gland. Okay. Now that's the ability to be in tune, in alignment with the universe, and you can see what is going on through the universe. That's that a pineal gland. So, but then we have what we refer to as what that later on developed are what duality. These two eyes that we use to see into the physical realm of things. Although we have 3D capability, we only see in 1D. What do you mean by that? Because you can't see posterior and anterior at the same time, right? You can't see in the front of you, right? While looking at the back of you. 3D gives you all surrounds the ability to surround see, right? If you're going to see in 3D, okay? So that's the duality. Now let's get to these two. Now the other vision that we have is called X-ray vision, right? What does X-ray vision do for you? X-ray vision allows you to see into something, right? For example, they can take pictures and you can see the bones and the organs inside of the body. That's X-ray vision. Now you have what we call penetrating vision. Penetrating vision is when you have the ability to see completely through an object, right? You can see completely through the object and simultaneously refract the light or bend the light so that you can see in 3D. You can see in surround. You can see the entire picture of what you're looking at with penetrating vision. So I call this the light bending ram. RAM, where we have the ability to bend light and see with that light. Okay. So those of us that are spiritual and our cognition is online, we have done that. We have the ability to do it. Have you ever noticed if you're dreaming something, you can see everything. And you, not only can you see it, but you are experiencing it at the same time, right? That's penetrating vision. So we have that until we begin to really discuss these things and break them down, then we don't even know that it exists, right? And then you have another one, what we refer to as what? Remote viewing. Remote viewing meaning that we have the ability to see something beyond our immediate space and place, right? We can remote view. We can be in one particular place and then see into a whole nother country, or we can see into someone else's interactions with someone else. That's called remote viewing. We have the ability to do that as well. We are fully loaded, but what has happened is that we've been dumbed down. And a lot of what has happened to us is because of going in the church and not through the church. I don't know how I got here, but I'm here now, and I'm gonna get us out of here. Let me run this off. So, but what was supposed to happen for us is that we were supposed to go through the church and not in the church. And what has happened is we are stuck in the church, and what we're doing is wasting energy. because we keep doing the same thing over and over again with the same energy, expecting different results. But what happened was our ancestors hid the energy or the spirit there so that we could, at whatever point we would wake up and become aware, then we would go and get that and come out and then utilize it for the purpose it was intended for. Okay? So we are confused. And so as a result of that, it has dumbed us down. We've lost our God's ability. We've lost our God sense. We haven't stimulated our pineal gland, right? So that we can be in tune with the universe, so that we can be in tune with the source, the masculine, the feminine, the mother, the father, Yah, Rah. We've missed that. Okay. And so it has to be taught on a different level. And that's one of the reasons why I knew that I had to come out of the church, because there's a level of conversation that certain people need that they weren't ever going to get if I would have stayed in there. Okay. So it's very important that when we get an opportunity to have these kinds of conversations, we need to get in there. We need to share it too. And we need to tell other people, hey, you really need to hear this. Right. So, but yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And I want you all to do this. I need you all to do this. Okay. And I'm going to get you all out of here. I need you to donate because I am a content creator and I need your financial support. Okay. We're not begging. I'm just asking. And those of you that can, please, so we can shout you out, to let you know, to let everyone know. Okay. All right. Yes, we do. Prince of Peace. We have superpower. We are the real superheroes. So, which is why our counterparts are trying to project. And thank you, Queen Octavia, for your donation. Thank you, Prince of Peace, for your donation. Okay. If you can, go ahead and donate. It's all right. Is okay? You got it. You got it, Alfie. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Means that I did a good job, right? Gratitude, gratitude.
Absolutely. It shows you met or exceeded
Not even talking to
expectations.
you.
Would you like me to help you draft?
No, I will not. They be listening to us all the time. Y'all do know that, right? Okay. So, real quick, if you can, if you do, I'm going to shout you out, pin your name up here. If I can. Okay. Thank you all. Let me see if anyone else has before we get out of here. Okay. Just a second here, family. Okay. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Shout you guys out. Let me see if anyone else before we get out of here. Okay. Thank you all for your Wednesday. It is always, always with extended grateful gratitude to you all, because I know everything that we do basically is a sacrifice, right? Because there's other things that we could be doing, but we choose to be in Wind Down Wednesday, Therapy with a Sip, Grown Folk Conversation. The People's Podcast is for you, for me, and for us, right? Wind Down Wednesday. Okay. All right, fam. Well, we've reached that what? That space, place, and time. Also, before we get out of here, let me shout out T Swin. And also the sponsors for tonight. Let me shout them out real quick. Sponsors for tonight is the Prince of Peace, the Master Teacher, the Quantum Shifter, the Shapeshifter, the Code Breaker, Tracy and Anthony Love, the Priestess Lavelle, Pastor Singletary. Also, T Swin, Man Can't Always Be Wrong podcast. And if you haven't had an opportunity yet to pick that up, that's him. Love is for Suckers. And also, none other than Dr. Clea from out of the ATL. That's H Town. This is ATL, Dr. Clea, Creating the Amazing You Journal. So you want to pick those up. You can look them up. They out on out in the World Wide Web. Okay. Yes, indeed. So if you had an amazing time tonight and you really got something out of it, and if you're still in the room, go ahead and put a big old 1 on the timeline for us. Okay. If you got something, put a big old 1 on the time is on my side. Yes, it is. Time, baby, is on my side. Isn't that something? I love you all. I'm grateful. It's been a wonderful, wonderful Wind Down Wednesday set, right? For grown folk, therapy. Isn't that something? The People's Podcast. So listen, do this for you, for me, for us. Hold what you got. Muse over it. Cogitate upon it. Ponder on it. Meditate upon it. But by all means, do what? Govern yourselves accordingly. One love, eternal light, peace, power, prosperity, and fam, in the words of the Prince of Peace, excellent health. One love. Peace be unto you, fam. Right? Shalom alaikum mishpikah. Meaning peace be unto you, family, prosperity be unto you, good health be unto you. It means a number of things. We don't just say that to be saying it, but it means something. Okay. All right. Let me make sure I got all of you all's comments before we get up out of here. Okay. I say all them ones on the timeline. Yeah. Baptista. Gratitude. Gratitude for the participation. Yes, indeed. Gratitude for the participation. Off the chain. All right, you all. Until next People's Podcast, Wind Down Wednesday, Therapy with a Sip, Grown Folk Conversation. Be safe out there. Take your time. And remember, it's all about you and how you take your journey, right? It's how you take it and not the journey itself. Peace.